Hello friends, myself Dr. Rahul Badwai. Hope you are safe and healthy at home. Today we are having session on role of proteins in immunity, in which we are going to discuss how protein and immunity is correlated. Before that, let us have a look at current situation when entire world is fighting battle against COVID-19 pandemic and everyone is playing their active role to support it. Some of us may be in panic, but rational approach in this situation is to follow self-discipline by regular use of your masks, sanitizers, maintaining social distancing, and most important is not to panic. You must have heard that COVID-19 has no definitive treatment and hence prevention is the only option. Since my graduation days, I have passion for proverb prevention is better than cure. But in recent past, we have focused more on treatment and forgot the role of prevention. In situation like COVID, where there is no definitive treatment, prevention is the only way out. When we talk of prevention, the one thing that comes to our mind is immunity. In the modern ways of hurried life, you might take your immune system for granted. Working quietly in the background, our immune system protects us from bacteria, virus, and other pathogens against the diseases. It is basically a complex network of organs, cells, and proteins in our body that act in a coordinated manner to defend our body from various diseases. If I wanted to define, then immunity is a balanced state of multicellular organisms having adequate biological defenses to fight infection, disease, and other pathogens. In the flu or other viral illnesses, many of your friends might get sick, but some would stand tall even when everyone in their home is sick with flu. Have you ever wondered how some people fall sick very often and some are resistant to catching such viral infections? Well, it's all about your immune system. Immune system is the first line of defense of the body against foreign microorganisms entering your body. Stronger the immune system, lesser would be the chance of falling you sick. You have to ensure that your immune system is strong enough to protect you against the various type of infections. And if by any chance infection happens, then at that time also the strong immune system will protect you against the disease. So what is most important for healthy and strong immune system? Definitely, it is the nutrients and food that you take. If you want to be specific, then protein diet helps in developing the strong immune system. So let us understand what are proteins. If you go by meaning of word protein, then protein means it is of first importance. 20% of human body is made up of proteins. Proteins have been regarded as a bodybuilding food. Around 10 to 15% of body energy is derived from proteins. Correct? They are essential for your structure, function and regulation of body's tissues and organs. Proteins are made up of smaller units called as amino acids and they are referred as a building block of proteins. Our Indian Council of Medical Research, that is ICMR, expert group has suggested an intake of around 1 gram of protein per kg body weight for the adults. For example, if you are 50 kg, then you must consume 50 grams of protein on daily basis. Now the question is, which food contains proteins? So vegetarian sources of protein are your milk, yogurt, cheese, tofu, beans, lentil, almonds, oats, broccoli. Non-vegetarian sources are protein, eggs, chicken. Protein is basically an essential macronutrient and one of the best quality protein is the casein from milk. Now the next question arises, why protein is important? Protein is found throughout the body, in the muscles, bones, skin, hair and virtually every other part of the body or tissue. It makes up enzymes that power your chemical reactions in the body and hemoglobin that carries oxygen in our body. At least 10,000 different types of protein are there in the body. Protein is made up of 20 plus basic amino acids. Because we don't store amino acid, our body makes them in two different ways, either from scratch or from modifying others. 9 amino acids are histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, and valine. These are known as the essential amino acid and they must come from food. Most of us think protein as only as a muscle builder, but protein plays important role in essential functions of body like development of your immune system. By maintaining the integrity and quality of skin, protein helps us to develop natural barrier against unwanted viruses and bacteria. Protein in the form of immunoglobulin also serve as a building block of our immune system, such as antibodies, whose job is to recognize and eliminate the unwanted bacteria and viruses. Let us have a brief on immunoglobulin protein. So basically immunoglobulin is a glycoprotein that is made in response to an antigen, that is bacteria or virus, and can recognize and bind to the antigen that caused its production. These are basically gamma globulins synthesized by the plasma cells. They constitute around 25 to 30% of total serum protein. Antibodies are present in serum, tissue fluids, and mucosal surfaces. There are around 5 types of immunoglobulins that play key important role in the immune function. These are your IgG, IgE, IgD, IgA, and IgM. So protein is vital to build and repair the body tissues and fight against virus and bacterial infections. Immune system powerhouses such as antibodies and immune system cells solely rely on protein for their development. Too little protein in the diet may lead to symptoms of weakness, fatigue, apathy, and poor immunity. Conclusion from various studies shows that deficiency of dietary protein or amino acid has long been known to impair the immune function and increase the susceptibility of humans to infectious diseases. Protein malnutrition reduces the concentration of many important amino acids in the plasma. Recent studies have shown that amino acids play an important role in immune responses by regulating the activation of B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, natural killer cells, and macrophages. Also, production of antibodies, cytokines, and other substances. Most of us might be thinking, what are these T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes? These are basically WBCs or white blood cells, which fight against the diseases. Correct? When you suffer from any infection or illness, the doctor recommends you CBC or complete blood count. If you observe carefully the report, your WBC count shows increased levels than the normal. It is basically your body has increased these cells to fight against the infection. Evidence shows that dietary supplementation of specific amino acid to humans with malnutrition and infectious disease enhances the immune status and reduces the mortality and morbidity. So protein energy malnutrition is the most common form of malnutrition affecting around 80 crore people in the world, including 15 crore children who are less than 5 years of age, and that are mostly in the developing countries. So immunodeficiency due to protein energy malnutrition increase the frequency and severity of infections, wasting of peripheral lymphoid tissues with subsequent implementation of immune responses, increases the malaria morbidity and mortality in humans, increases the Mycobacterium tuberculosis infection, decrease in total lymphocyte numbers. Also, protein intake can improve your vaccine efficiency in malnourished individuals and decreases the susceptibility of infections. Now we will move on to the casein protein. Casein is basically a most important protein in the milk. It constitutes around 80% of milk protein. It is a highest quality protein. Why? Because it has a PTCAS score of 1. So what do you mean by PTCAS? PTCAS is a protein digested amino acid score, and that is a 1 with casein protein. An attractive property of casein is to provide sustained and slow release of amino acids into bloodstream, sometimes lasting up to 7 hours. Hence it is referred as a time release protein because of its slow absorption in the gut. This means that it feeds your cells with amino acids at a lower level than the other proteins. For this reason, it is called as anti-catabolic and helps to reduce the muscle breakdown. Then now question is, what are the benefits of casein protein? So most important is since it is the highest quality protein, it has the good biological value, net protein utilization is good, then protein efficiency is very high. Therefore, it will support the muscle anabolism and growth. Again, next advantage, it slows the gastric emptying. So that is actually beneficial in the subjects who are suffering from the disease like diabetes. It provides the beneficial glycemic effects. Then third most important, it is higher in glutamine. Hence it will support your gut immunity and the illnesses. Another benefit is that it is a source of TGF, that is transforming growth factor beta 2. It acts as a natural anti-inflammatory agent and which can reduce your inflammation. Let us discuss the protein quadrant. So protein diet improves your immune function, promotes muscle mass, promotes positive nitrogen balance and enhances recovery. Protein is a crucial macronutrient in critical illness. Skeletal protein is the only protein in our body, correct? And there are high protein needs in conditions like acute and chronic illness, inflammation, aging, obesity, malnutrition, and the conditions like sarcopenia. If you look at the clinical ramifications of protein malnutrition, then deficiency of protein will lead to impaired immune response, increase in infection rate, delayed wound healing, your gut function can get altered, skeletal muscle wasting happens, and decrease in the muscle function. Now let us understand positive nitrogen balance. So this is basically a state in which nitrogen intake is higher than output. So some amount of nitrogen is retained in the body, causing a net increase in the body protein. Means whenever your body protein intake is adequate, you have a positive nitrogen balance. And it is observed in growing children, pregnant women, and during recovery from the serious illness. What is negative nitrogen balance? So negative nitrogen balance may occur due to inadequate intake of dietary protein, deficiency of single essential amino acid, or destruction of tissues or serious illnesses. In this, the nitrogen output is higher than the input. Some amount of nitrogen is lost from the body, depleting the body of protein. Prolonged negative nitrogen balance may even lead to death. It is observed in the children suffering from kwashiorkor or marasmus, that is the protein energy malnutrition disorders. There is a strong relationship between deficiency of protein, muscle mass, and outcome of disease. For example, 10% loss in muscle mass leads to reduced immune function. 20% muscle mass loss leads to worsened wound healing. 30% decrease in muscle mass leads to increased severe infections. And 40% decrease in muscle mass leads to increased risk of mortality. There are certain recommendations from international guidelines for protein intake in illness. As we have discussed earlier, that ICMR recommends around 1 gram of protein per kg body weight in normal persons. If we take the references of international guidelines like your International Protein Summit, then Aspen guideline or ESPN guideline, they recommend protein intake of up to 2 to 2.5 gram per day in illness. That is up to 50, that is for 50 kg normal person, 50 gram per day is the requirement as per ICMR guidelines. But as per the international guidelines in illness, for same 50 kg ill person, the protein required may go up to 100 to 150 gram per day. Now we will focus on the one of the important amino acids in the milk casein protein, that is L-arginine. L-arginine is basically an essential amino acid that plays a very important role in immune regulation. Clinical studies have demonstrated that L-arginine is critical and it is associated with the reduction in inflammatory response and infection rate as well as the length of hospital stay. L-arginine also improves the immune parameters during the physiological stress. Dietary arginine has also been reported to be an important for the maintenance of your natural killer cell activity. It also helps in generating antibodies against the virus. There is one study from the Journal of Nutrition, Pittsburgh Medical Schools, which shows that T lymphocytes depend on arginine for proliferation, correct? Then T cell receptor complex expression and the development of memory cells. T cell exhibit the molecular and functional effects associated with arginine deficiency. The use of dietary arginine supplementation has been extensively tested in over 40 studies in high-risk surgical patients, leading to consistent and significant reduction in the post-operative infections. There are cells called as CD4. They also act as a marker for immunity. Normal count is up to 500 to 1500 per cubic millimeter. Reduction in the count below 200 shows the decreased immunity. In one study, the patients who received L-arginine showed that increase in your CD4 cell count, reduction in the infectious complications, reduction in the length of hospital stay, and improvement in the immune function. Another important amino acid is glutamine. Glutamine is most freely amino acids in the blood. It is critical nutrient for maintenance of intestinal immune system, secretory IgA synthesis. It improves the immune response either by direct effect on lymphocyte proliferation or by decrease in the availability of glutamine to lymphocytes, which decreases the rate of proliferation and the ability for rapid response to immune challenge. Thus, we can summarize as casein in general and arginine and glutamine in particular have crucial immune boosting property. So hope you understand the concept of protein in immunity and expecting the implementation of same in your day-to-day life. I am signing off by thanking each one of you for listening patiently. Again, stay healthy, stay safe and stay calm. Thank you.